Yeah, let's call this admin meeting to order for January 19th, 2023. Do we have any public comment on items not?
You'd like me to
Oh,
take
yes.
roll call?
Yes.
It's okay, I'm happy to.
Really gonna bung that. Yeah, and
All right, it looks like online we have Bailey Minich, Carrie Powers, Amy Bristow, Eric Dixon, Kelly McGuire, Kyla Leonards, Melissa Fisher, Shane Stack, Cindy Kennedy, Violet Plummer, Lydie Wagner, MCAT. In 206, we have Commissioners Vero and Slotnick, Chris Lonsberry, Ann Hughes, Allison France, John Hart, and myself, Annie Kathy. Did I miss anybody out there? All right, Josh.
yeah, thanks
All
for
yours.
doing that. All right, so do we have any public comment on items not on the agenda? We have a consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda we need to pull out, discuss, or anything anyone would like to discuss?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
David?
Aye.
So now that it's passed, can I say something positive about one of these? I just want to say thanks to Jason Emery for agreeing to hang out with us for
Yeah.
until 2026.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason. Okay, on to action items. John.
Commissioners, I have a improvements agreement for you to consider. This is in the O'Keefe Ranch Estates subdivision. It's phase 1 of the subdivision. And I'm sure you'll recall when I came to you early last year with an improvements agreement for this same phase in the same subdivision. At that time, the remaining improvements had a price tag of $454,770. And the developer was able to put in almost all of those improvements, except for a handful of boulevard landscaping and tree planting. And it was mostly a timing issue of putting in the landscaping now before there's a lot of homes built and homeowners to water those trees and things like that. And so that part of the improvements agreement was not completed. The solution that myself and Bailey Minich and Brent O'Connor negotiated with the developer, who is Ryan Built Homes, is that they would just let the old improvements agreement expire, which it did on January 10th, and bring a new improvements agreement for your consideration to guarantee those landscaping features are planted, constructed, and completed by January 10th of 2024.
Okay.
All right. And we have a letter of credit from Mountain West Bank in the amount of $42,867, which includes a 25% contingency and also a $2,200 amount for surveying and engineering, civil engineering costs. This is pretty straightforward. The only other thing I want to draw your attention to, unlike every other improvements agreement that I can ever recall bringing to you guys, the Planning, Development, and Sustainability Office is the one who will ensure that these landscaping features get completed satisfactorily. Unlike the almost all of them are Public Works. Public Works is the county entity that approves and certifies completed infrastructure, because we're usually talking about roads, sewers, sidewalks, curbs and gutters, and things like that. In this case, because it's purely a landscaping, Bailey Minich and her department is in charge of approval for these. So with that long-winded explanation, I've reviewed this guarantee and agreement from Ryan Build Homes, and it's been approved by the planning department. The estimate has been approved, and then the letter of credit is satisfactory, and I recommend that the board enter into it.
Thank you.
Any questions?
That was very thorough.
Very thorough and
Very thorough. Now, Commissioner Barrow, I noted that you were writing things down. Are you gonna put something on your social media site?
Of course.
Okay,
Of
okay.
stage forever.
This is exciting stuff.
Of all the improvement agreements I've listened to, I think this is the most modest financially.
It's pretty close. Pretty close. There may be one that is a little bit less. But yeah, this is
Super doable.
this is pretty doable.
What are they gonna plant out there? Well, Bailey will, yeah.
Yeah, Bailey's on the line. She knows. Bailey, do you have anything to add?
No, I didn't really have anything to add. I think the main thing is, as John said, the biggest issue we found, right? So there are homes that are being built out there currently. It's just obviously the number of street trees to go in, right? It's all the timing, and obviously you can't plant in trees in the winter. We wouldn't want them to. We want them to live, not die. So that's pretty much, yeah, really, they just needed to do this so that way they can do the next phases as well, because I know they are working on the next phases and the development too. So yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Well, I move to approve the subdivision improvement agreement and guarantee.
All right, all in favor?
Aye,
All right, thanks, John.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Bailey. Kelly, are you out there?
Good morning. So the agreement I'm bringing to you has a kind of a long history. This is the culmination of a 3-year grant from Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. This is the Culture of Health Leaders program. And so as part of that grant, we received $35,000 to complete a strategic initiative. And this was during the pandemic, so we really had to pivot. What we wanted to do in partnership with Erica Ritzema at the health department was a project around healthy relationships and sexual violence prevention in high schools. But during the pandemic, that is not where people were at. And so we had to pivot to a different topic. So instead, what we did was we tried to infuse healthy relationships concepts into a project focusing on student well-being during the COVID pandemic. So Erica Ritzema at the health department hired 12 high school student interns as county employees, which I just think is so fun for those kids to have said that they were county employees and have that on their resume. They attended weekly meetings, they learned about health equity, leadership skills, and conducting research, and they conducted their own research on student well-being during the pandemic. And where they ended up going with it was focusing on the impact of school staff shortages on students, and they put together a research report that kind of includes all of these survey responses from students talking about how their teachers being so burned out was really impacting them as students. So they provided that report to MCPS administration and the school board, and we still have $15,000 of the grant left. So what we did was we put out a request for proposals on how applicants could improve teacher well-being in the schools. MCPS submitted a proposal to purchase this curriculum called Educators Thriving, which they had used before, but no longer had funding to purchase. And that curriculum will be provided for teachers in Title I schools, and it offers online modules, consultation, and in-person groups. So that is what the agreement is for, so that teachers can have access to that program.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have, this is, I want
Highly
teachers to
controversial
thrive,
thing
yes.
Yeah, let's help teachers thrive.
I move to approve the construction, perhaps that too. The subrecipient agreement with Missoula County Public Schools.
Thanks. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much, Kelly.
Thank you.
Did pivot during COVID to something that was relevant. Shane.
Morning, commissioners. For you, we've got an agreement with the Montana Department of Transportation. And they are planning to reconstruct a portion of Highway 83. I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but MDT reconstructed Highway 83 from Clearwater Junction all the way to Salmon Lake, gosh, several years ago. And then this would be an extension of that construction project or efforts to improve Highway 83. Part of that project will include improvements on Woodworth Road. And I can share drawings and photos, or we can keep this very simple. The agreement basically states that when they're done constructing Woodworth Road, for the most part, we maintain Woodworth Road as we always have. There's going to be some improvements though, like a soil nail wall, a short segment of soil nail wall. They're going to be responsible to maintain that in perpetuity. The county isn't going to be responsible to maintain that. So that's kind of the short version. I can go into more detail if you would like, though.
So it's just the intersection?
Yeah, that's, they're obviously they've got to improve the roadway, Highway 83, and the portion that we've got an agreement with them on is Woodworth Road. And maybe I'll share my screen just so you can kind of get a better picture. I wasn't sure how interested you might be in this topic, but I'm assuming you can see this drawing.
Yeah.
So Woodworth Road, you can kind of see these gray lines in here. This is the portion that would be reconstructed, and these dark lines are what the new alignment would be. So it's a bit of an alignment change, and there's going to be a soil nail wall in this area, and then it's pretty much rock cut back through here. And maybe I'll share another screen with you as well, because it's a little bit easier to kind of see this. So this is looking up the road, and obviously this is Highway 83. You're going to see a pretty decent cut through here, and then it'll wrap around and tie in back to Woodworth in this area. The reason why they're doing this, and I'll go back to the PDF drawing, is the skew, and you can see that in the photo as well. You can see the angle of Woodworth and how it ties into 83. They want to have a nice square approach so that you can see both directions.
A left turn.
Or left or right?
Yeah, getting on or off the roadway is a lot easier when you can kind of see. So
Gotcha.
that's kind of the background.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Um,
When's this gonna happen?
Good question. So they are planning to start this spring. Interestingly enough, Kiewit, who is delivering the Missoula or the Mullen Build project, they are going to be the contractors that are working on this in the same form and fashion too. They're doing CMGC on this project. So Kiewit is really interested in getting the Mullen Build project buttoned up so they can get their full attention out on this job.
Great. I like the idea of getting that Mullen Build buttoned up.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I'd move to approve the construction and maintenance agreement with MDT.
Right, all in favor. Thanks.
I'm sorry, what was the Boy Scout 83 intersection improvement? What was supposed to happen there? Totally off topic. Shane's gone, never mind.
Oh, so I don't know that there is any improvements out there right now. Because Boy Scout Road obviously has two approaches, one kind of in the Sealy area and then a little bit further north of Sealy. But I am unaware of any improvements there. I don't know, Eric, I know you're on. I don't know if you're aware of anything there.
I am not, no.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, Eric, you want to talk about trailer tanker pump combination unit?
We'd love to. If you recall, last year during our dust abatement bid process, our initial bid advertisement for a contractor applied dust abatement program came in about $45,000 or $50,000 over our available budget. So, our options were to find more money, reduce the mileage, or find a cheaper way to do it. So we opted for option number 3 and used our one of our water trucks, actually our de-icer trucks, because it has the metered flow rate. And we've talked about doing it ourselves before, but the problem has always been getting the material to the roads. We can haul 3,500 gallons of magnesium chloride at one time, and on most roads, that's about a mile. So when we're doing almost 50 or 60 miles, it's a lot of round trips to our supplier at the Y to get a mile done at a time. So we talked to the local contractor that is the distributor for Dustbusters, and he is an over-the-road hauling company, and he had a tanker and pup combination unit that he was willing to lease to us. So we modified our water truck, and we used this tanker combination, and it gave us a lot more flexibility. And within a few days, our guys figured out a rotation schedule where they could fill everything at one time, and they'd shuttle to like 9 Mile, where it's 45 minutes from the distribution center. And they are able to work out a schedule that allowed them pretty much continuous application with not a lot of downtime. So it proved to be a very valuable option for us, both in saving money and in giving us the flexibility of time. When we're working with a contractor, we're sometimes pinned into their 2-week schedule. And if things change on our end, or if weather conditions change, then we're always scrambling to try to keep up with it and get our contractor back and keep our roads prepped and work around our other construction maintenance schedules. So since it proved to be so effective last year, we decided to buy a tanker and pup combination unit. And the one that we are buying is actually the one that we leased from TECE Trucking last year. So we know that what it is something that will work for our system. So it proved to be, very, very convenient, very valuable. So with this purchase, we can keep our dust abatement program moving forward at a reduced cost. And so with increasing material prices, this is one step that we can take to try to keep our operation efficient.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Glad you found it. I move the chair signed 2 bills of sale from TEC Trucking.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for your guys' flexibility and creativity in solving this cost overrun dust problem. It makes a lot of people happy to take care of the dust on those roads.
Yeah, we've always said it's one of our best maintenance programs, so we're glad to keep it going as efficient as we can.
Well done. All right, any correspondence? I know over there.
Oh, okay.
I know that you guys love nothing more than talk legislature.
Yeah, Chris, do you have anything?
I don't think we have
Yeah.
anything for today. We,
Okay.
as you know, we'll meet, or some of us will sit in tomorrow to hear Mako's land use bill that's gonna be introduced and watching. So,
All right, anything interesting? When I was poking in your office yesterday, debating the divesting some of the money from the bed tax. Back to local governments. I caught a few minutes ago at Bryson's compelling testimony.
Yeah, anything bad?
we'll wait to see when and if they take executive
Yeah.
action.
Eric's really smart and did a good job.
Because he did. Well, do we have anything else?
I thought you said this was gonna be long and torturous. This is great. 20 minutes.
Easy,
Yeah.
easy.
Way to go.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your Thursday.
Yeah, enjoy.
I try to